Today's top 5 political headlines in the USA. What you need to know. Welcome to our political roundup. Today, we're diving into the top 5 stories shaping the political landscape in the United States. From legislative battles to election developments, these headlines are not only crucial for understanding the current state of affairs but also for anticipating the future of our democracy. Let's jump right in. 1. Government shutdown looms. Congress in turmoil as the deadline for the new fiscal year approaches. Congress is grappling with a potential government shutdown. Tensions are high as lawmakers from both parties clash over spending priorities. The House is pushing for significant cuts to social programs, while Senate Democrats are advocating for investments in infrastructure and education. What's at stake? If Congress fails to reach an agreement, essential services could be disrupted, affecting millions of Americans. Federal employees may face furloughs and national parks could close, impacting tourism and local economies. Key government services, from Social Security checks to disaster relief, could also be halted. Public opinion is divided, with many Americans expressing frustration over Congress's inability to compromise. A recent poll shows that a majority of respondents believe that a shutdown would be damaging for the economy and further erode trust in government. This situation underscores the challenges of bipartisan cooperation, especially as elections loom and both parties seek to rally their bases. Historical context. Historically, government shutdowns have often resulted in political fallout for the party perceived as responsible. The last significant shutdown in 2018-2019 over funding for a border wall caused significant political ramifications, which both parties are keen to avoid this time around. 2. 2024 presidential election. Candidates ramp up campaigns. With the 2024 presidential election on the horizon, candidates are intensifying their campaign efforts. Former President Donald Trump remains a dominant figure in the Republican primaries, while President Joe Biden faces challenges within his own party. Key campaign strategies. Candidates are focusing on pivotal issues like inflation, healthcare, and climate change to resonate with voters. Town hall meetings and rallies are becoming increasingly contentious, with candidates seeking to differentiate themselves in a crowded field. Trump's recent rallies have showcased his unwavering support among his base, while Biden is attempting to unify the Democratic Party amid dissent over certain policies. Voter sentiment. Recent polling data shows that voter sentiment is shifting, with many Americans expressing concern over economic stability and social issues. A Gallup poll indicates that nearly 70% of voters believe the country is headed in the wrong direction, a sentiment that could significantly impact incumbents. Candidates are urged to adapt their messaging to reflect the evolving priorities of their constituents. 3. Gun control legislation sparks nationwide debate. In the wake of recent gun violence incidents, the debate over gun control has reignited. Activists are calling for stricter regulations, while gun rights advocates argue for the preservation of Second Amendment freedoms. The tragedy in Uvalde, Texas, and other high-profile shootings have reignited public discourse on this issue. Legislative efforts. Several states are proposing new laws aimed at tightening background checks and regulating firearm sales. For example, states like New York and California are pushing for legislation that would mandate comprehensive background checks and impose restrictions on assault weapons. However, the response from Congress has been lukewarm, reflecting deep ideological divides. Public advocacy. Grassroots movements are gaining momentum, with protests and campaigns urging lawmakers to take action. Organizations like March for Our Lives and Everytown for Gun Safety are mobilizing communities to advocate for change. Public opinion polls show a majority of Americans favor increased gun control measures, highlighting a significant disconnect between constituents and their elected officials. Challenges ahead. Despite growing public support for gun control, powerful lobbying groups like the National Rifle Association, NRA, continue to exert significant influence on lawmakers. The ongoing battle between public safety advocates and gun rights supporters sets the stage for a contentious political landscape. 4. Abortion rights on the ballot. A pivotal moment for states. With the Supreme Court's recent decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, abortion rights have become a critical issue in upcoming state elections. Several states are set to vote on ballot measures that could either protect or restrict access to abortion services, creating a patchwork of laws across the country. State-level initiatives activists are mobilizing to ensure that voters are aware of the implications of these measures. In states like California and Michigan, proponents of reproductive rights are pushing for comprehensive protections, while in others like Texas and Florida, conservative groups aim to implement stricter laws. This divergence in state policies is poised to create significant disparities in access to healthcare. Voter impact. This issue is expected to drive turnout in the midterm elections, particularly among younger voters and women. Many analysts believe that abortion rights could play a decisive role in determining the balance of power in state legislatures. As seen in the recent Kansas referendum, voters are passionate about this issue, and it may influence not only state races but also national dynamics. 5. Climate change policy. Legislative moves in Congress. As extreme weather events become more frequent, climate change policy is taking center stage in Congress. Lawmakers are debating a comprehensive climate package aimed at reducing carbon emissions and promoting renewable energy. Key proposals. The proposed legislation includes incentives for clean energy investments, support for electric vehicles, and stricter emissions regulations for industries. Recent studies indicate that transitioning to renewable energy sources could create millions of jobs while addressing the climate crisis. However, partisan divisions threaten the passage of these ambitious measures. Economic considerations. Supporters argue that transitioning to a green economy will create jobs and stimulate growth, while opponents express concerns about the potential economic impact on traditional energy sectors. The fossil fuel industry has historically wielded considerable influence, and its pushback against new regulations is anticipated. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.